Check out this colorful scene right here. This was not my wedding, but it was another wedding that we attended just one night before our own wedding. I remember some little fat kid tripped over the stage as he was running around, and it was pretty funny for us, but he was probably pretty embarrassed. Made our night, though. Check out the table of food right there. Plates on plates. This is the Chinese baijiu, which was tough to take at first, probably because of these worms that were inside of it, but my dad and I being, career alcoholics, we got used to it. Then we started crushing these cigarettes. Chonghua, that was the party favor. This guy had a Merry Christmas shirt on, which we thought was hilarious, so I grabbed some pictures of some other things that I thought was hilarious written on t-shirts. Figured they're the equivalent of white guys in America who have Chinese calligraphy tattoos. Love your cell. Almost bought that one. This was my actual wedding. Basically, they just make you say shit and then embarrass you because you don't know how to speak Chinese. So if you're a white guy going to China for a wedding, get ready to be embarrassed in front of everyone. This game here is called Mahjong. Pretty tough to learn, but once you learn it, it's actually kind of fun. And check this table out. Boom! Automatic shuffler. That's a still shot right there. My wife's mom is a moonshiner. We drank a lot of that. This is the club in China. So we went to a couple nightclubs in China, and there's a few notes here for anybody who's heading over to China and wants to go to one of these nightclubs. First and foremost, the bathrooms are shared. So male, female bathrooms, which makes it easy or hard for you to do what you want to do in the bathroom, depending on what you're trying to get done, if you know what I mean. So they were yelling "yo zhao, yo zhao." I don't know what the hell that means, but the club is it's quite an experience, especially for me being like a huge white guy in China. They basically treated me like a celebrity, which was cool at times, but it got a little bit intrusive, Like I went to the bathroom to take a pee at one time, had guys checking out my pace while I was trying to use the urinal. But then those same guys, they took me up to the VIP, and it was all good. You pay a cover, and all they have is warm beer, which kind of sucks. But again, because I was a VIP, I was telling them, hey, why don't we get a bottle of whiskey? And they ended up buying a bottle of whiskey over at the VIP table. So then they'd fight each other over who was going to light my cigarette. I don't know. I just don't think I could be a celebrity. But this is the Chinese club. Really not that much different from a U.S. club as far as the atmosphere, the music, all that. It's not super my scene, but, when in China, you got to try cool things out. So I went for it. I must tell you, though, getting a drink at the bar is tough. Those bartenders really take their time making those drinks. It's a huge pain in the ass. You're better off just drinking warm beer. And that's all they have in China, by the way, is warm beer. I can't wait to move on to the next scene. Here it is. A nice, slow, quiet scene. Actually, very quite scenic. This was a tea garden in my wife's hometown. She's from Zhuji, which is in the Zhejiang province. It's about 2 hours by speed train south of Shanghai. 1 hour. My wife just corrected me. It's a nice place. We had a good time here. It is actually one of the more serene places that we had been while we were over there. Very nice. This is a typical street in China. Check out this guy. He's eyeballing me hard. Whoa. Yeah. I'm a huge 6'3", 250 plus white guy, so people in China are just staring at me. And then I've got my phone out and I'm recording everything, so there wasn't much chance for them not to be staring at me. Plus my dad's limping around behind me somewhere. This is pretty much what every street looks like in China, but it's as you can see, my wife here, it's pretty easy to hail a cab, which is nice. This is also in Hangzhou. This was in the temple park. What was it called? Lingying. The Lingying Park. Also a very cool, serene place. As you can see, there's stairs over here to the left, and man, my wife and I tried to climb every stair, and that was a huge mistake. I think it took us like 40 minutes, and we got halfway up the mountain, and then we quit. This is outside the temple. This whole place was like a huge amusement park, but with no rides. So there was people everywhere, but really nothing to do other than go to these temples, which was cool, but there was too many people there. There's my dad and my wife. My dad was just way out of his element this whole trip. It was kind of hilarious. So yeah, this temple was actually pretty solid, though. We end up actually going inside, which I've got some cool footage of. But like I said, you know, if you're into meditation or something like that, it's a real solid place to visit. But there's a lot of people, so you gotta be locked in, focused. We end up approaching the temple here. You hear those deep drums going. The monks singing their hymn. The security guard ends up opening the gate. I thought it was for us. You know, thank you. Oh, shit, no. He actually just means get the fuck out of here. And he's getting everyone out of the way. So we say, oh, well, we gonna slip in a side entrance. So we end up walking through the side here. Eventually, we get into this temple. A lot of people exiting. You know, when I see a lot of people exiting a place, you know that's a good place to enter. Always have your dad enter first. He's got a lot less life to live. If you can hear that, that's all the monks singing in unison. That guy in the back, he's whipping that fan around because it was hot. Everywhere in China is hot in the middle of June, especially where we were at, South China. This is just more of the temple here. About to pan left, show you that Buddha. Oh yeah, pretty impressive, honestly. This stuff was built a long time ago. And all these monks are just straight killing it with their prayers. I mean, this is like the NFL of China right here, you know? They've got crowds. You gotta buy a ticket to get in. This is clearly not in the temple anymore. This is actually on a speed train going through the countryside. The countryside in China, if you notice, looks a lot like the suburbs of America because there's so many people there. You know, it's not like driving through Indiana where there's just cornfields. It's still pretty populated. And those trains go pretty fast. It's like 700 miles an hour. I don't know. I'm embellishing. I really don't know. This is inside one of those little outposts on the Great War of China. So if you've ever wondered, there's enough pictures of the Great Wall of China, so I'm not going to post any of them. But, you know, those little command centers where those guys are getting their war on up on top of this mountain. Which, by the way, those Mongolians, first they had to climb a mountain, then they had to deal with the Great Wall of China. Jesus. There's no way they ever got into China. And it was hot as shit. This is a market in Beijing. Lots of crazy stuff going on. Lots of good terms I learned here to haggle, like Duar Chen and Tai Guela. Very important to learn if you're a Westerner there. These are some scorpions. I end up eating one of those. Here's a video proof of me grubbing down on one of those. What's it taste like? Tastes like a dirty potato chip. My dad was scared to eat one. Then I shrugged it off. Speaking of my dad, here he is in the hotel. We end up going to this hotel because he complained like a straight up bitch for 2 weeks. His knee hurts. He's got gout. He's got every other excuse in the book. We did have to sleep on some pretty hard cots and stuff, but he got all banged up in this Western hotel. We finally get him to a Western hotel. We've been in the lobby 15 times. He has no idea where he's going. I'm surprised he didn't walk into this mirror right here on the right thinking it was a hallway.
Limping all over the world.
Limping all over the world. Misses the elevator button. Solid move. Good thing there's 2. That's why they put that second one there. Alright. Second day. Or the next day, rather. We're in this little tuk-tuk thing. This is still China, though. We go around this bus because there aren't traffic laws in China, as I said earlier. Like, look at this. We're on the wrong side of the road. And we're just going to cut this car right off. Everybody's got umbrellas. It's not raining. This guy's killing it on this little motorbike. There's my wife. She's looking alright. Now we're at this duck restaurant. And these guys are just roasting the ducks. So you see on the left, they've got all the raw ducks. On the right, all the cooked ducks. He's about to whip a duck on out the brick oven. Here it comes. Clear the way. Shooing. Looks good. It was good. This is one of the most famous duck places in China, actually. I'm about to show you the finished product. There she is. It was pretty good. They served us a big plate of that, and then I put on a little taco roll with some cucumber, some onion, some sweet sauce. Grabbed a little shot of the outside of the place. It's called the Li Chun restaurant. So if you ever go to Beijing, check that out. These are the mattresses, man. Straight up cots. Just killed our backs. Look, they don't even have blankets or anything over there. So if you head over to China, bring a pillow, bring a blanket. We end up at a KTV. Another very popular thing going on in China. I had to introduce them to some country music. Little Tennessee whiskey. Now, I was a hit at this place. There's only about 3 people in the audience, though. They never saw anything like us there. Then we ended up getting challenged to a game of pool by these 2 guys. We beat them, and they had to take us into their private room, where I'm pretty sure they had some women they paid for. We didn't indulge in any of that. But if you ever want to take a shit or piss, this is what you got to do.